Right then, it's nearly Christmas. So let's try and do this simple little Santa stylised idle animation. Let's hide the camera and light for now. We got our cube here. Let's go into edit mode. Let's just make sure we've got enable our X. Yeah. So you want to be across, remember when you start modelling, go across your X axis there. And you can move both sides then. Just with X there. So let's carry on in edit mode, add a few loops. I want to stay relatively low. Low to start, let's go to see-through mode. Let's just look at this reference here. Let's scale that in. Let's actually, because we got X enabled, let's do it like that. I want to create a bit of roundness to this Santa figure. Let's grab them, bring that in. Grab them, check, bring that in. So, bring them out. Bring that out. Bring that out. Bring that back. We just box modelling, really, this is known as. Just creating a simple body to start with. You can grab your lasso there. Bring that out. Select box. Grab the right ones. Bring that out. Bring that out there. You're working nice and cleanly, really. These top ones. Let's go into edge mode. Select loops. Bring that in. Grab these two. Bring it in. This and this. Bring it in. Maybe bring it in a bit more. Into vertex mode. Let's just move that. It's not as close. Grab that there. There, that can be a simple body. It's going to select edge loops, bring that up. Up. If we go into Sculpt, way to transparent, go into Sculpt mode, use the grab brush, and we can just shape this a little bit more here. Get a bit more roundness on it. If you go to smooth, I like to have that at about 0.35, and it doesn't destroy it as much. So that can be our simple start for the body. Let's now go to add mesh cube, and what we'll do, we'll name stuff here. Much better to work cleanly and name stuff. So that can be the simple body. Let's now create a head. Let's go edit mode again and enable X. Start adding a few loops again. Let's just go into sculpt mode this time straight away. If we can, so I'll show you the box modelling to start on this. Let's try and work a bit faster this time by going into sculpt mode. Smooth, G to grab. F. Shift to smooth. Unfortunately, I think there's a bug with Blender 5 where you can't show your screencast keys. So, trying to work on finding out what the problem is there. So I apologise about the screencast keys at the minute. Into object mode, let's move this up. Control A all transforms to deltas. Back into sculpt mode. Bring this out a bit. Just thinking of the beard shape. I'll probably put a hat on him. And you can have a Santa hat, can't I think in object mode. Let's scale that head down a bit. Look from the side. Actually scale it back up a little bit. Bring it to this into sculpt mode. Sculpt mode. Let's adjust this a little bit. I think this body needs to be a bit bigger. Then it needs to taper off to the top. Tap smooth. Alt Q. Grab that one. Bring this down. Tap smooth again. Can be the simple body. You need some arms. So let's go into edit mode, base mode. Maybe move that down a bit. We'll extrude this out. Where are we? Grab the other side. Right click. Extrude faces along normals. Bring that down. Now we can just select the one side. For some reason we've lost the symmetry there. Not sure why, it should be bang on symmetrical still. I've got X enabled. Rotate that. Rotate that. Scale. Scale. Can be his arms. Let's add a few loop cuts in there so we've got a bit more geometry. Into sculpt mode. We seem to have our symmetry back now. Just tapping smooth a bit. Grab brush moving stuff a bit. Tap smooth. I want to get some simple arms. I think this should be back here a bit. Bring this down a bit, tap smooth a bit. Not a bit too fat. Let's bring this in. Tap smooth again. Bring those up. I think what we need now is some gloves as well. Let's grab these. Extrude them out. Bring that down there. Let's grab these two. Scale them. Scale in a bit there. Let's grab loop cut. Cut it there. Face mode. 1, 2. Extrude that. Loop cut. We'll go into edit mode, see through. We'll grab these faces here. Make sure we got the right ones grabbed, yeah. Shift D to duplicate. Move that to there. That's still part of the same object. So Control L. P, separate selection. Object set origin. Origin to geometry. Modifier, generate. Mirror modifier. Edit mode. Control L. There's different ways of going about this. This is certainly not the cleanest way. Let's just delete the faces on that. Object set origin, origin to geometry. Move that to there. Grab that. Edit mode. Grab these faces here. Delete faces. Move that to there. Control J. Edit mode. M at center. M at center. M at center. Just weld the vertices. I mean, because it's on the fly, it's just not as clean as it should be. Really, we should have just modelled off and then mirrored it across. But there's different ways of going about it. That was certainly not the cleanest, for sure. So we're just tapping smooth now. He's got like gloves on here. Need to smooth that. Just Not enough roundness there. Tap smooth. Move and smooth. You'll use that a lot when you're sculpting stuff and modelling stuff. Well, especially in sculpt mode. There's the basic body. Tap smooth. I think we'll want this to come right down and cover, like as if he's got cloak on, kind of thing. I'm not, you know what I mean? Santa Claus outfit. We can bring that back up. Like that. Bring that up there. There's the basic body. Make a bit more chubby maybe. Then bring the whole thing up. The body's a bit smaller. And we can control this to save. Santa. Go to add mesh cube. Scale. Something like that. Edit mode. Loop cut. Face mode. Extrude. Object mode. Scale. Let's go into edit mode and add an edge loop. Couple of edge loops. And what we could do now is go to generate subdivision surface. Set it to 2. Edit mode. So let's go to sculpt mode. Let's create these boots. Look at it from the side. Bring that out. Certainly look a bit too big, don't they then? Bring that to there. Sculpt mode. Actually go into edit mode. Let's add a few. Let's add a loop cut there. Grab them edges, bring them up. Grab them edges there. Bring them out. Select edge loops. Bring that in. If we bring that down, maybe we can add another loop cut there. Then go into face mode. Hold Alt. B to extrude along normals. Loop cut. loop cut. He looks like he's got his boots then, doesn't he? And in sculpt mode, it's just shape it something like that. It's just far too big. So something along the lines of that. Certainly not the best boot in the world, but there you go. Maybe bring that there. In edit mode, insert another loop and scale it a bit and bring it up. Control S to save. I think we'll have them close together. Let's go to generate a mirror modifier and choose that as a mirrored object. We'll go to generate a mirror modifier, sorry, not mirror, subdivision surface for this. Legs feel too blocky. So / for the arrow. Create a little bit more roundness in the legs. Right click in object mode and shade smooth. / shade smooth, shade smooth. Let's sculpt mode. Let's make these arms a bit bigger. Let's make him a bit more chubbier. A little bit fatter there. Back in. Down there. Something along the lines of that. Then we could go to edit mode. Insert a loop there. Then go into face mode. Hold Alt to select the loop. Maybe we could right click, extrude along normals, bring that out. Scale that out a bit. Insert another loop there. And then maybe you can have add 2 more loops there. And then another loop there and another loop there. Or maybe just the one loop. If we go into face mode again, Alt to select the loop. Just trying to think of, could you have a little belt? I think what might be better. We'll just have, we'll unselect the face there. I think we'll just add a loop cut. Right there. And a loop cut there. Select the faces. Maybe scale them a little bit. What about if we right click and extrude along normals and bring that in like that? It looks like he's got a belt, doesn't it then? Maybe add a belt buckle there. Sculpt mode. Arms are a touch short. I think he should have. I think if we go into edit mode here, what we could do, select these faces, extrude along normal. Nah, not too keen on that. Couple of edge loops, then interface mode. Right click, extrude along normal. What's that like? That feels better, doesn't it? Much better. Make this arm a bit bigger. Go to box mask. Mask. Smooth mask. Mask. Invert mask. Then grab G. F to resize, bring this out. Bring this down. And don't worry about the other side. We're going to mirror it. This is what we should have done in the first place. Mask. Clear mask. Something like that. Make these hands a bit bigger. Looking from a different view from the bottom. I think what we'll do, we'll go to see-through mode, / to isolate, edit mode face, delete all them faces there. Knock off the subdivision. Generate mirror modifier. And then generate subdivision surface. That's what we should have done to start with. / to isolate. That'll do for the body for now. We'll do a bit of tweaking on that body. The hands are still a bit short. Let's have a look at the face now. We want generate. We generate a subdivision surface. Actually, no. I'll try and get a bit of structure in place first for this. So, he wants to have a hat on and he wants a beard. I think what we can do, if we go into edit mode, see through, I think we'll do half as well. Show you how to do it properly. So let's get the half there. It's also isolated, so we're just working on the head. Let's think about the best way to go about this beard and face. We're just going to be keeping it simple, really. Most of his head is just white, just white beard. We could select everything and then deselect maybe that area. I think of the best way to go about this beard. We could shift D to duplicate that. Then go into sculpt mode and start moving this beard into place. So he's just got a beard here. But we don't want, just isolate that. We don't really want, we can delete them faces there. / to isolate, that's our beard. Let's go to generate, solidify, thickness 0.3, generate subdivision surface, sculpt mode. First of all, go into object mode, set your deltas back, sculpt mode now, turn off your X and start shaping this beard. So just shape this Santa's beard. So just moving stuff about with the grab brush. Let's add some more thickness to this, probably 0.1. Edit mode. Let's add a few loop cuts. Because he's got, if we go into sculpt mode, let's go into it, let's edit and add another few more loops. We got our subdivision, let's knock that up to 2. Into sculpt mode. He's kind of, you can see sort of attaching a beard. Let's just shape this out like that. And this is sort of his tash kind of thing going up into his beard. It's pretty much just all into one, really, this beard. You can't see a lot else. Select the other one. And just pull this. Pull that in a touch. That can where the eye can be. There. Don't need X. Alt Q to select the beard again. We could maybe go to edit mode. Control S to save. Maybe just add down, just scale that a bit just to create a bit of a, so it's a bit different. Sculpt mode, just a bit of, I don't know, in and out kind of thing. He's taking up pretty much all of his this beard. Alt Q to select the other one. Alt Q to select that. It's / Control S to save. I think what we'll do now, that head's a bit big. Let's isolate that. Let's knock our subdivision off there. And just move this into the middle more. And what we can do then is go to generate a mirror modifier. With our mirror modifier, dial up the merge. You'll merge it together then. Apply that. Put your subdivision back on. Then just go in and do a bit of smoothing on your beard. So just keep moving stuff around, smooth. X back on. Let's add another loop in there so it looks as if he's at least got a bit of a mouth kind of thing. Sculpt mode, smooth. Bring this down, bring this out. A bit more roundness on there. / Need to grab that, generate mirror modifier, apply that, X, move this about, tapping smooth there, generate subdivision surface on that. He's going to have a hat on, so it doesn't matter about the top there. Smooth that out a bit, it's a bit sticking out a bit too much there. Smooth that. Now he needs to have a hat on next. So just bring this out while we're at it. Make these hands a little bit bigger. Something like that. Alt Q on that. Just tweaking a few shapes. Let's bring these boots out a bit. Smoothing stuff with a sculpt brush. Let's grab the inflate brush and Alt Q on that. Just inflate his hands out a bit. Just with the inflate brush. Back to grab. Make these arms nice and straight. Grab this body again. Face mode. Let's just bring that in a touch. No, I don't really need to do that. That looks a bit bit of a crease, wasn't there? There. Make this beard bigger. Make it bigger. Save. Add mesh. Cube. Bring that up. Let's go to subdivision surface. Apply it. Another subdivision surface. Scale. Shade smooth. I want to create a basic hat. X. I want to shape some simple hat. We could go into edit mode. There's a loop there. Scale that out a bit. We want another loop. Scale it in this time. Move it down. And then back in sculpt mode. Let's go for a few different views. Let's go into edit mode. Face. Select these 4 faces. Let's try insetting them. Inset again. And again. Scale it. Move it up. Rotate. Make sure you grab that vertex there. Come out of X. Sculpt mode. F to resize. Let's try and bring that, excuse me, down. Like that. That kind of thing. Smooth. Smooth. Add a loop there. Sculpt. Smooth that about, smooth it. Something along the lines of that. The crap hat. That's what that is. I guess what we could do just to top it off is go to add mesh, sphere, scale that, bring it up there, scale it a bit more. Somewhere around there. Right click and shade smooth. And grab this and just bring it down a bit more. Something along the lines of that. Control S to save. And let's just have a look at the proportions of it. Let's apply that. So I've grabbed everything on the head. I'm just scaling it a bit. Feel as if it should be bigger, more stylised. Body. Probably a bit bigger, a bit longer. Feel as if they should be smaller, more dumpy legs, podgy legs kind of thing. Control S to save. Then what we'll do now, have we applied our mirrors? And apply that mirror. And apply the mirror. If we grab all that, bring it up to the floor. We're standing on the floor now. Let's just look at this again and bring it. Actually grab that, sculpt. Let's just bring that out. Then you want to select everything, all transforms to deltas. You got clean values there. That looks like the basic structure in place. I'm just going to do a couple more things, polish on this, and I'll come back and tell you what I've done. Whilst I'm back on, I've done a bit of clean up. So what did I do? Well, nothing too complex, and I never really do anything complex that I don't show you really. So I need to be learning this stuff. So I've just added a bit more roundness on this character. So I just got into different views and got a bit more roundness in there in the character. I've added this belt buckle, and all it is on that is you add a Boolean modifier. So I added a cube, and you add another cube inside it, as you can see there. So cube and a cube, and if you go to Boolean on your belt buckle and choose that cube, there is the object. Then it'll subtract it, and you can just hide it in a camera view. I've just got another cube in there. Edited a bit more by adding some edge loops around there. Added a bit of volume on the sleeves there. And then just added a cube with a subdivision for the eyebrows, which I'll probably add a bit more volume to, so a bit more bushy maybe. You could go in and just add a bit more volume, couldn't you, to that? Yeah, cylinder for the eyes, sphere for the nose. I think that's about it, really. I did move the pivot points to there. So what I mean by that is, if you go to origin to geometry, it'll move like that. But I want it pivoting from the top. So if we go to /, go into edit mode, vertex, and select these vertices here. Go to Shift S, cursor to selected. It'll put your cursor there. Then go to Object, Set Origin, Origin to Cursor. And we can pivot it from there and create an animation loop. So /, bring everything back. And you'll notice that when you move that, the belt buckles are moving. If you go down here into relations, you can just see that I parented the belt buckle there to the body. See in relations there. The parent. So that's your child, that's your parent. Which we learnt in the beginners series, didn't we? Just a case of basically selecting that, Control P, keep transform, that one. So that's gonna go like that, and like a Tik Tok effect. This, I've done the same with the parenting. I parented everything to the head. I just select your hat, eyebrows, eye, nose and everything, and parent it to the head. So we can have the body going one way and the head going the other. So what do we need next? Then we just need some materials, don't we, next? So let's grab this body material plus, let's just keep it simple, name that red. Go into colour mode, select a red colour. That'll do for now. We can tweak that, make it a bit darker. We want, click plus there, new. All that black. I think we've already got a black somewhere. Don't have it dead black, just not quite. Go into our modifier, turn that off. Then go into edit mode, face. Hold Alt, select the loop. Back to material, black, assign. There, Alt at the end. Black, assign, that can be our belt. Control S to save. We could have the bottom here as white, couldn't we? So let's go to plus, new. White. Into our modifier. Yeah, we've got that turned off. Edit mode. See through. Lasso. Select them faces. So all along here. I mean, we're not really going to see the back. Go to white assign. But let's do it right though. I like things right, I do. Just do it right. And I'll feel better. That talks some rubbish, hasn't it? Right, like select all those faces then. Select all your faces. And you could have done that Alt trick like I've shown you. So Alt, tap. Right. White, assign. Alt. You select the face, then select that face. Then at the end, sometimes selects the loop instead. Doing see through. White, assign. Alt, white, assign. I'll get this right in a minute. White, assign. That should be everything. Now we can go back to turn our subdiv on. We've gone one too many there, haven't we? We've gone one too many. We didn't want this. Let's set that back to red. See what that gives us. That's better. So there's his Santa Claus outfit there. We'll just make that black for now. Maybe that bit should be red, but let's white there maybe. Let's just leave that for now. I think this should be white, this sleeve. Let's go into edit mode, see through. Lasso. Let's see if you've got hopefully the right ones. White, assign. Always prefer to knock the subdiv off when I'm doing this. So red, assign. I think that's the correct ones. Same again on this side. White, assign. Alt to select the loop, white, assign. Alt click, white, assign. White, assign. White, assign. And that I think is right, apart from that one. If you want to be red, Control S to save, put our subdiv back on, and I think that should be alright for the body. Now we want the beard. Let's just assign the white to that. The hat. Let's have it as red. That can be white. Eyes. Black. I think we just need to create a... That can be white. We just need to create a skin, don't we now? We go to New. Skin. A bit more, that's a bit red. Or pinky red. That'll do, I think. That's the material. Control S to save. Let's just check the cleanliness of the scene. If everything's nice and zeroed out. Control A, all transforms to deltas. That's going to pivot there. That head's going to pivot there. Let's turn off wireframe and have a look. // While we're at it, let's just assign these as well. Turn off your subdiv into your material, white assign. And I think we have a shirt as well. I think that was meant to be white as well, wasn't it? Assign. Subdiv back on. / Oh. Just go into sculpt mode. Just tweak this down a bit here. F to adjust your brush size. Just tweak this down with the belt. Bring this out a bit. F. Bring that out, back out a bit. Get a roundness there. Alt Q. We also want this nose of the skin. What we could do actually, go to plus. Let's copy that hex value. Paste it into there. Let's have this nose red. Nice little red nose. Create a bit of the contrast. And there's Santa Claus. Save. Make sure, should his gloves be black? Maybe that might work better if he's got black gloves. Knock off your subdiv. Edit mode. Shift to select material black, assign. Yeah, I like that better. Let's just make sure you've got these ones as well. So just shift select around there. Shift select these faces here. And we want them as black. I suppose what we could do is add a few little buttons, couldn't we? To finish it off. So let's Control S to save. We could Shift D on that eye. Bring it down. Bring it out, rotate it, move it up there, and modifiers. We'll go to edit mode, Control L, delete faces, and we've just got the one. And use your rotate tool and your scale tool. Let's just bring it go there, Shift D and there. Make sure it's onto the body there. Bring that in as well, onto the body, rotate it. There's two little buttons. Basic little buttons there. But remember to select them both. Go to all transforms to deltas, but we want to unparent it, don't we? Alt P. Clear and keep transform, so it's Alt P you want to do. But then you want it to be, you want to select them both, then the body, Control P, keep transform. So when your body moves, your buttons are now going to move as well. I think that's ready for animation, isn't it? Apart from the belt buckle. I'll just do a touch more clean up and I'll be back in a minute. Right, so all I just done then was just added a belt buckle. Just wanted to double check everything was nice and clean, but I just added a gold belt buckle to there. And all I've done there is I increased the metallic to 0.9 and the rough decreased the roughness to 0.1 to get that shiny effect on the belt buckle. I think what we'll do now, everything's nice and clean, we'll grab our eyes. If we go to shape keys there in data properties, click plus and plus, make sure your value's on 1, go into sculpt mode, grab brush, and just move this eye, kind of like crush it down. So we're just using the grab brush there. We're just kind of crushing this eye. F to resize. Let's just move this eye about. We can use that to create a blink, can't we? And grab the other one, do the same. He's far from the best blink in the world, but let's just roll with it for now. Just try and crush that eye a bit. So you're just crushing the eye, basically. Something like that. It'll be about that distance. So you can go between like that and it'll be blinking. So make sure your value's on 1. And just crush that eye. That'll do for now, I think. That can be the blink. I'll set that as 0 for now. Right, so that's him all set up. Should we rig it up or should we just I don't think we need to be rigging this, adding a bow. Let's go to, we tried it about 50 to start with. Control S. We want him kind of tick-tocking. So let's go to I. To insert a key. Click this arrow here to bring up your transforms. We'll have the first pose like that. We don't want it cutting into the boot. So right onto the boot there. Make sure to get your auto key on there. Enable auto key there. And just rotate this body to there. Then go to frame 12. And you can type in there -5, -6, I, all channels. If you go over both of them, Control C, paste, delete that. That copy needs to be the same. First and last frame, the same. Spread this out a bit, it looks even. Back to the start. Spacebar, press play. So his body's ticking, isn't it? Back and forth. Now let's go to the head. And if that body's going that way, the head could go that way. To counteract it. So let's go to that way, like that. I. You can also put I and all channels in there. So frame 12. If that's at -11 there, go to 12 and put it as 11, so you go in the opposite way. I, all channels. You don't have to key all channels, but I like to keep it cleaner. 24, paste. Paste. Delete that. Bring that up to there. I think it was just even it out as well. See what that gives. There you go. So they're happening on different channels, so you got a bit of variation. Let's go to Graph Editor. Only selected. Don't show the cursor. So it looks like it's in the Y channel, so hide the rest. Just look at your Y Euler. You could just move these handles a little bit. Bring that up a bit and that down a bit, just to create a bit of variation. If you go over that, doesn't really matter this, but if you want to extend the timeline, if you go to Modifiers, Cycles, you'll cycle forever, so you can increase the time and it will keep cycling. Let's grab the head. And just tweak this to create a touch of variation. Add a cycles modifier in case you wanted to extend the timeline. Let's click play. And there's our simple little animation. I mean, it might be a bit much to add a blink. Let's just see how it looks. Right in the middle, let's go to, click that to set a key there, and go along to 24, put the value as 1, and you can copy paste, and he blinks then as well. So you can decide whether you want to keep the blink or not. But that's Santa. There he is. So what you want to do now really is just set up some simple lights. And if you look at my part 9 for lighting, beginning Blender, you can set up some simple lights. But I'll show you, I'll come back in a few minutes. I'll set up some simple lights and just show you how to do it. And you can get that rendered out. There he is. Ready for Christmas. Right, so I'll just go through this last bit with you, what I've done. I've gone into animation tab there. That's a great way to work that because it brings up your camera view, your timeline, and your 3D viewport. And what I've done with the light that you get and the camera that you get at the start, I've just changed that light to an area light, set the power to 3500 and added a blue tinge. It's more cold. So yeah, just move the camera, move the light. I added an infinite plane there. Same as with the Enderman tutorial, just add an infinite plane background. So I've just used the one light, I'm not setting up 3-point lighting, just keep it simple. So that was the main 3 things I've done there, and what I also done was I added 3 simple spheres. See these? And if you look there, it's just 3 simple spheres which fade away, just to mimic a bit of snow. What you do to make them disappear, so they keep, see if you press play, you'll just keep looping. After being lit mode really to see, so it just mimics a bit of snow falling really. And all you do for that is you just add a sphere out of sight of the camera, so you can see in there. You'll set a key at the top there and a key at the bottom, so they fall down. But the magic to make it disappear, they all disappear at the same time, which is not right. But you need to add more materials to make them disappear at separate times if you want to do that. But you'll just key this alpha value here. So in your material, I added a simple material to it. Added an emission of 0.5 on the material, so there's a little bit of light on it. And then in keyframe 1, your alpha, you just tap this dot here to set a key. And then when you get to here, you'll have the alpha as 0. But basically an alpha means you can either see it or you can't. So when you get to there, it's gone. And that'll just keep playing. Just mimicking a bit of snow. That's all I've done at the end really. So that can be rendered out now. It's not the best lighting in the world, but I think it gets the point across. You could, add some stuff in the foreground and that, but I'm just keeping it simple to like a white, snowy background. So that's the animation. And that's a good way to work. With your animation window, your timeline, and your 3D viewports, you can usually go into lit mode then and tweak some stuff. Shadow's a bit too sharp there. I'll render it, may do a few tweaks. If we hit F12 now, it's going to be something along the lines of that. A bit of shadow there. Little bits of snow, and he's doing the kind of TikTok, TikToking. Not the app, just simple animation, TikToky thing. So you could increase it. I might put that as white on the rim there and just tweak a bit of roughness values here. But that's basically the animation. So there you go, that's Santa Claus. So Merry Christmas. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace. So just before I finish, I'll just bring you back for a second just to show you a couple of polish things I added to this. So I added another material to the boots and just made the roughness, just made it just black, and then made the roughness 0.3, so there's a bit of shininess to the boots. I also assigned the belt metallic to the buttons as well, so they're shiny. I added a spotlight there with a blue If you turn that on and off, it just adds a bit of a rim light there, just around the body to bring a bit of interest to it. That's all really. Just a little bit more polish to add a bit more depth to it. So I just thought I'd tell you that one, guys, before I wrap up this Santa Claus one. So I'll see you on the next one. Cheers, guys. Bye.